Traders, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be going over AMC and be running down what I expect to be going on in this upcoming week. Now, we got the dip you wanted on Friday, and you started retracing back to the upside, getting back above the weekly level, back above VWAP, and overall the trend shows extreme strength. Now, I'm extremely excited about what's going on, and I'm going to tell you exactly what I'm doing and the options that I personally have. If you're not following on Twitter, the link is down below. I post my entries for AMC and everything like that on there as well with constant updates. Like, subscribe, do what you gotta do. Let's get to it.
I got no drip in my pocket. Must have forgot it, or maybe
So what we're looking at here is a 15-minute, and I just want to point out a few things. Now, you're gonna notice the only difference on my charts over the past few weeks, I had the MACD just for some intraday day trading on some of the other caps, so we can ignore that. I don't use it for AMC really whatsoever, but I do have the 200 EMA. It has been relatively strong with noticing the trend as well and noticing when you're trying to find some type of support. So it's a decent indicator, not gonna lie, but it's not one of my mandatory things that I know and love. The biggest things for me are going to be the VWAP and then the OBV, because they'll show you the overall trend in which you're moving, and they have been tried and tested when it comes to AMC, and they work phenomenally. So let's go over the whole day of action that we saw. So you saw us open up right here, you had some up action, you came right back down, and you just dropped straight down to like 32 flat. Now, the first area you wanted to hold, and I mentioned this plenty of times, right, was going to be this range here. You got rejected below, you kind of flagged, and this was just indicative that you were just going to keep coming down, right? Now, from that range, you got to push back down to this weekly, and this was the area you really wanted to hold. But we had something weird that did happen. You came back down, you tested this lower level here, and you kind of got like a double bottom around this block right there. And from there, you're seeing a really strong corrective bounce. Now, I did not buy the perfect dip. I'm not, superhuman when it comes to day trading or anything like that. I didn't get in. What I did is I waited for all the cues that I mentioned in the last video. I wanted to see the 15-minute hold above VWAP, which it did, at least 2 candles, and then you started reclaiming this weekly level. Now, I bought closer to the end of the day because that's typically my rule when it comes to AMC on Fridays, is right before close is just the best time for me personally. But I kind of changed the goal with my options. So I personally entered September 17th and I got 40s because I had a lot of open interest. I like where they're at. The IV is still really low. IV is scaling down extremely fast right now on AMC, which really means there's a lot of room for it to run if it really does start flying again. That's why the last options we had back in the end of May, June, you made tons of money because you just got into them when the IV was extremely low. So looking at what's going on here, you came back down, you retested that weekly, bounced right back up. So much buying power is coming in here, in my opinion. And I like that you didn't even get a retest of 35 yet, because that just is indicative that, in my opinion, you're going to get that retest come Monday. Now, I want to go over what happened over the past, week and a half, 2 weeks. So we've seen essentially since we did call the bottom down here. We said that the bottom is in. I got a little bit worried when you had this going on here. But you've been on a straight upward just trend going on. Now, if we look at the market as a whole, the Nasdaq, SPY, Dow, they have not been scaling up like this. They have been retracing throughout, and there's been a lot of scares. But throughout that whole move, AMC just gradually went up. And it honestly kind of was freaking me out because you expect to see a rejection from that monthly level, but you were just holding there, and eventually you did get rejected. But that was just extremely strong. Now, what you're getting here, in my opinion, is just a retracement. You're bouncing back up. Are you reclaiming those key levels? This is essentially what we talked about in the last video. You just wanted to make sure you held back above weekly, but you're really doing more than that. You're getting your strong bounce off the bottom. And then I want to take a look at the OBV as well. Now, here's the 15-minute, and you're going to know I always talk about this. You rarely, ever double top on the OBV, and you're getting some of that action right now. But what I want to spend most of our time when you're looking at this is a higher time frame to see the overall trend. If you've been with me for some time, then you've witnessed this. You've heard me talk about this. We had this trend here, and guess what? You broke back out to the upside, and you're scaling back up. And honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I thought the OBV would trend sideways more, but it looks like you're just getting an upward push right now, which is absolutely insane. Now, you had something very similar to this last time, right? We marked it out down here. You started getting the same exact trend, a little bit, shorter of a time frame, scaling here. You broke out, stagnated, came up, stagnated more, and then boom, you started shooting up like crazy in the end of May. I'm not saying that this shoots up in the end of, September or August or anything like that, but you're looking shockingly similar, except you're at a higher range and there's less of a drop. So this looks more bullish, and you're coming out of this trend a lot stronger right here than you did right here. So in my opinion, buyers are there. You're seeing even more hedge funds getting into AMC, more pension funds getting into AMC. This is pretty bullish, just the fact of everyone getting into this. And you do have news coming out about Citadel and some of that, and I try not to focus on that just because I think it can really just be overwhelming, and most of that stuff doesn't even matter. But looking at the 4-hour chart as well, I mean, just take a look at what you're seeing on a higher time frame. First, you're holding that 200 EMA. Second, you're getting almost somewhat of a double bottom in this range of that zone down there. You're scaling back up. You had, yes, the rejection at the monthly. You came back down. You held that weekly extremely strong, holding VWAP. It looks like you want to get a bounce. I want to see how we progress throughout the beginning of the week, but as of right now, I am holding those options. I'm feeling extremely confident in them as well. AMC looks very strong. Now, the ranges I'm talking about, if you break above 37.5, in my opinion, hold that monthly level on the 4-hour chart, you're going to be pushing to $42 in a matter of time. And then from there, if you can break above that, I think it's going to be a push to $51, $52. That's going to be the really big test, in my opinion, but I still think we have time before that happens. But again, as of right now, I'm in September 17th, $40 strike calls. That's me personally, not financial advice. I just want full transparency and show that I do have, money in the game right now. All right, so I just want to go over a few things as well. Like, I love AMC, but I want to talk about Pfizer because a lot of people have been following Pfizer over the last week. We've had crazy movement. I've had people DMing me about these crazy sums of money they made. Congratulations. They're like, thank you so much. But it's not really me at all. I'm just pulling out plays that I like and other stocks that I think have potential. Ultimately, it comes down to you doing your own DD, finding reasons for you to put that money in and make that next step. So congratulations to anyone that's actually putting in that effort to make some life-changing type of money, because you can come to YouTube, you can listen to whoever you want, but honestly, we could be full of BS, myself included. You need to fact check, do your own DD, see if the math is there, seeing if the play actually aligns with the money-making scenario. So shout out to anyone that actually did that additional DD, because Pfizer's doing very well. Now, you did get rejected on Pfizer around $50 to $51. However, you have lots of options still sitting in the money, more options at $50 this week coming up. And then September 17th is the really big, catalyst in my opinion, because that's where a lot of options are sitting right now with the highest open interest. Also, going into Monday, you have the White House talking about potentially getting the FDA approval for Pfizer, and it's looking like that's when they're trying to push it. That could really send Pfizer over the top, especially with all the concerns around the Moderna vaccine right now. So I think Pfizer's in a very good spot, and I'm not saying it's going to push 60, but I think there's a lot of potential for this thing to get upwards of $55 in the next few weeks. I know it's a really big ask and a really big prediction, but it's a very possible outcome for the stock. Now, the market cap is very high, and this is more of a fundamental play when you really get down to it, but there's a lot of options expiring in the money, and Pfizer looks very, very strong. If you have any questions regarding AMC, please comment down below. I'll try to answer those as quickly and as fast as possible. Hope you guys have a great weekend. Like, subscribe, do what you gotta do. Back tomorrow. Namaste.
But I'm about to take off like a rocket. Houston, we might have a problem, but that don't mean